All right, what's up, family? Got another book review. It's been a while since we done one, but we got one for you. I bought this book quite a while ago. It says Zane Presents by Harold L. Curley. Born Dying. Now, I got this book a while ago. I don't even know where I got it because I know I didn't buy it in a bookstore. I think someone just gave this to me, or maybe it was at a sidewalk sale somewhere. I don't know, and I picked it up. Thought I'd read it. I had it for quite a while, but let's tell you about it. It's pretty interesting. It's another like street life, inner city type of book. You know, the drug dealers, the cars, this and that. But we're gonna tell you about it. You ready?
Yes.
All right. So the way this book is, like it says, called Born Dying. It's about the two main characters, Nate and O'Neal. Right?
Yes.
They're in high school, and they selling weed for this guy named Chico. But they want to be the big dogs, but they only selling weed.
Well, they didn't have the experience to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They knew more of the streets about what's going on, and then knew certain people, so they feel that they have a chance with it.
Yeah.
But remember, Nate, which he started giving his a nickname for money.
Uh-huh.
He loved the money.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to make money and all that. And he found out that in street.
Yeah.
Going out in the streets, that's where he was a role.
And he was the brains of the operation.
Yes,
but anyway,
he was.
so now on this particular day though, Nate goes across town. He meets this new chick, and Nate really only come to school when he's flossing or something like that, because he don't really care for school. Where O'Neal, on the other hand, his mom makes him go to school. But on this particular day, Nate is at the school because he's chasing this female, and when O'Neal walks up on them, he said, "Hey, what's up, Nate? What's up?" And then Nate introduced him to the girl, Nikki, right?
Nikki,
He goes, "Yo, this is Nikki." And then O'Neal responds, he go, "Oh yeah." He said, "Yo, you live over?" He said, "I think I know you. You live over in Forest Heights, right?" And she responds, she go, "How you know where I live? What, you stalking me or something?" and then O'Neal responds, he go, "What? Stalk you? You ain't even that serious. Ain't nobody stalking you, bitch." So when he said that, now she snapped. She's like, "Yo, who you think you talking to? You know what? Yo," and now she goes not only off on O'Neal, she's like, "You need to put your man in check. Matter of fact, my brother and his crew, they're gonna step to you. You best believe." Yo, it gets blown all out of proportion. Now the reason we mention that part, because just like what I said to you when we was reading the book. I said, yo, first of all he said was, "Oh, you live over in Forest Heights, right?" And meaning he recognized her. And her response was, "What, you stalking me?" Now he just said, "I know where you at." And now she is just joking. But the reason I had a problem with that is that women feel that they could joke. But if a man joke with that same thing, they don't find it funny. Like I'll give you a prime example. I remember years ago I make a delivery at this stop, and I had delivered this lady's check. And today was payday. I said, "Oh, I got this check. I got the check for you." I said, "Yo, this thing is heavy." I said, "Yo, this thing real heavy right here. I know you're checking in because it's so heavy." And then I just joking with her. I said, "Wow." I said, "Matter of fact, since it's so heavy," I said, "I was thinking about asking you for a loan. You know what I'm saying? You could lend me a couple of G's." You know what the female response to me was? The typical answer that most females say, because you can't joke with them, but they love to joke with you. Now, remember what I said? I said, "I was thinking about asking you for a couple of G's since it's so heavy. I know you're checking here." You know what she said to me? When I said, "I want to borrow money from you." I bet you know the answer.
Well, no, I should be borrowing money from you.
You should be the one lending me money.
But it's
The
just
females kill me with that bull
It's just
crap.
some females, not all females. Some females out there have sense of humor.
You should be the one giving me money. That's what she said. I said, "Yo, you know how many times I heard females say that dumb joke?" So let's move on. And that's what I meant when I said in the book. All he said was, "Oh, you from over in Forest Heights." He recognized. She says, "Oh, what, you stalking me?" Now she was joking, but he took it offensive. Now, like, "Yo, ain't nobody stalk you, bitch." You know what I'm saying? But now she done got the ball turning. She went and told her brothers and the crew. And now the next time she called up Nate, she called him up and said, she acted like everything was okie dory. He came over to the house and she set him up and had her brother and his crew beat him up bad.
Yeah.
He should have knew. You went to this neighborhood, man. She set you up. And so now when he go back to his boy O'Neal, he's like, "Yo, man, damn, man, what happened to you, man?" He's like, "Yo, man, that chick set me up, man. Yo, we gonna get them jokers." So now they want to be the big cheese at the same time. They talk to Chico. That's Chico's peoples. And they
Yeah.
work for Chico. So Chico's like, yo, man, let it rest, man, this and that. So now they making a deal with Chico, and now they meet Chico's boss, Cardoza, and they tell everything that's happening. Say, yo, man, but we got a beef, we got a squash. So they tell Chico not to intervene and let them handle their beef first before we move on. But Chico, you are not to intervene.
But see, that's a couple of people out in the streets. They had a problem with Chico because Chico was never leading the right path.
Even the Cardoza family themselves, they say he's hard-headed.
Yes, he didn't even want to listen. He thought that by him doing it his own way. But when you go into a crowd organization and you have a plan, you got to stick with the plan.
Yes.
Chico was not
Chico
like
never
that.
listened. And sure enough, so when they went to when Nate when Nate and O'Neal went to get back revenge on them jokers that jumped Nate, Chico showed up when the Cardoza family told him not to. And in the process, Chico took a shot at O'Neal. And when he seen it, O'Neal boy Breeze took a shot at Chico and they wound up killing Chico. But that's the Cardoza family. So now he's like, now they had to explain what happened. When they found out everything all came out, even one of the higher ups told the man, Carlos, the Cardoza dude himself, they said, we told Chico not to be there. We told him not to intervene. He did anyway. He's always a renegade, always a hardhead.
And you know what? Now that we speak about Chico, you got people like that.
Never listen.
They never listen, never sticks with the plan. And that's why it's like with people like that, you just got to delete them. You got to absolute them because it's not, they're going to jeopardize
And that's what the Cardoza,
everything.
the leader said eventually. He said, you know what, this was unfortunate, but he went against the family. So it's unfortunate, he's a family member, but he clearly went against our rules.
And you know, the crew really tolerated as much as like just tolerate his attitude, his actions, because he was actually like family.
Exactly.
Everybody loved him.
So now they run up on Nikki, who started all this nonsense. They run up on her, and she's running her mouth, this and that. And next you know, her brother runs up too, and then boom, they get in, they shooting out, and they wind up shooting her brother on the shoulder. And then then I think they ran up on Nikki. And she's like, no. And they shot her right in the head. Bow, killed her. And when they killed her, then the brother ran over and grabbed her, like, yo, my sister. And he's like, yo, but this is what you get for having a big mouth sister running her mouth. Now you gotta take the actions from her actions. Now you gonna take this. And he just looked up at them and they just shot him. Bow,
but you know, it is kind of crazy that they did shot her, but they said that they actually did it because they didn't want the witnesses left behind.
Yeah, because it was just the dudes. But she was there running her mouth. How she got this whole thing started in the first place?
Yeah, so she had to be deleted.
So now that was that. Now it goes on. It says 9 years later. No. I'm sorry. I was missing the crucial point. So now, not only that. So now the Cardoza family, they find out that this is a snitch within their crew, something like that. Turns out it was this cop named LT. He was working as undercover. They had him living in the neighborhood. They had him buying and selling, but he was a cop all along. So one day, what happened, the Cardoza family, they sent Nate and O'Neal, because they knew who this cop was. They sent him to the house. And on this 2-3 o'clock in the morning, he wakes up out of bed and it's a knock at the door. He's like, man, who the hell is this at my door, man? This better be an emergency. And his guard, his sixth sense was telling him something, but he didn't listen. And he opened up the door, and before he knew it, the armed men came in and was like, yo, get on the ground, man. And they tied him up to a chair. They beat him, and asked him all this information that he wasn't giving. And then the next thing you know, they shot him up with dope.
Well, he thought everything was going to be finished because obviously he was still tied up. But then, obviously, one of them came back in.
Yeah.
I think it was O'Neal, right? He came back in, and then he gave him the
and they kept him for days and kept shooting him up. And know what that remind me of? The old movie with Denzel Washington. Y'all remember it? Called Ricochet? They did that exact thing in that movie. They had him doped up for days in that spot. They drained all the water out of the pool. And when they finally let him go, and now he was trying to tell the officers and all that, he said, I know where the place they had me. And they took him to the place. He said, man, it was an empty pool. And they made a lady have sex with me, this and that. And they went to the place. It was old lady swimming in the pool. And it made him seem crazy. He's like, no, I'm telling you, hold on a second. It wasn't water in the pool. I know there's water in the pool now, but I'm telling you, there wasn't nobody here. This place was abandoned, but I know it's not abandoned now, but I'm telling you, it was abandoned then. I mean, it was water in the pool. It was like, he's crazy, man.
They
he's
told
crazy.
me you need some time off, though.
And that's just what they did to LT in the book.
Yeah, and that's what they told LT. You need some time off. You need to get yourself back together.
And to go to rehab.
And go to rehab.
And he got offended. He started insulting his boss and all. He said, I don't need no rehab. I've never used drugs a day in my life, and I'm never going to start. I don't need no damn rehab. My system been clean. I don't need none of this. Yo, I could kick this drug. See, that's the problem he had with most drug addicts. They think they don't have a problem. They will actually say them things. I don't have a problem. But what they don't understand is that drug is undefeated. That drug will start to take such a control of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like your
it's
boy.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like that every day in life. People, they feel as if they got so much, what do you call it? It's so much, I'm trying to say
control
the word.
Or
no, they feel as if,
pride.
oh, I can do this by myself.
And his boss told him, man, that drug is more powerful than you think. The doctor told him too. He said, you're free to go to the hospital, but we got to check you into a clinic. You need to go through withdrawal and rehab. He's like, man, I don't need that. I'm fine. And what happened? Oh, and behold, he started wondering what was that monkey on his back, because he needed a fix. He started robbing drug dealers because they knew he was a cop. And before you know it, he was a heavy addict. And next thing you know, he started stealing from his daughter, stealing from his wife. Next thing you know, showing up to work late, not showing up at all, showing up high, and lost his job, lost his wife, lost his daughter. And then that's when. Then you have a question for that?
I have a question. Like for someone that never took drugs in their life, but they know the story behind the drugs.
You know what it does to you.
Why would you go ahead and just get to that drug? Why would you want to take that drug and you know the
I like that question. Now I'm gonna tell you. You know why they do this?
I don't quite
because a
get
drug
that.
dealer, they feel like I'm in control, not this drug. I'm the one that make money. I make this drug. This drug don't make me. I control the drug. The drug could never control me. I know what I'm talking about. See, they really believe that. But let me tell you something about that drug. You know how you got a box? That drug is undefeated. You know how you got a boxer might have a record 10-2, right? 15 and 1, right? That drug is undefeated. You think you could control it, but I'm telling you, that drug is undefeated. Remember Chris Rock in New Jack City?
Girl, man, this crack shit, man, it's got me, man. I don't got no control over it, man. I try to kick, man. That shit just be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it. Need help, man.
Right there, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, like that question you asked, if you know what it does to you, why would you use it? Because they think, nah, I'm in control. But before you know it, you see, nah, you was never in control. That drug, once you start using, that drug will take control. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. He lost everything, just stealing and all kind of stuff, lost everything. And then it just skips and it says 9 years later. His wife left him, his daughter don't respect him, he lost his job, the streets, everything. He's hard, he's real bad, a drug addict. And it touches on one of my old videos right here. CBD, check it out, because that was me. I had never in my life used drugs nor alcohol. But we also got a thing we've been doing for many years where we purge our body, and we'll go a week or two, sometimes more, where we eat absolutely no meat, just fruits and vegetables and water, no soda, no juices, nothing, right? And my dumb butt, we had bought some CBD. I don't know why. I think you said you had a pain in your hand. So we bought this CBD, and then the lady said, oh, we had THC as well. And I was like, oh, these gummies. And I was like, oh, let's try that. And look at my dumb butt. And the lady said, well, look, if you never use drugs, alcohol, you never use this, she said, you got to be careful with this stuff. Maybe if you're going to try it, she said, take half of it. And I bought the whole thing, a whole bottle of it. And that was when we had came over here to Florida. And remember, like I said, we had already purged. See, this is why it was so potent with me. I never did drugs, never did alcohol. This is the video right here. Never did drugs, never did alcohol. And on top of that, I have a purified body because we had already purged ourselves. Where we took a whole day where we took this magnesium, where we was releasing ourselves for a whole day. Now the next week we had nothing but fruits and vegetables in our body and water. And my dumb butt took the THC, and like that day you even told me, you said, babe, the lady said only take half. I was like, man, this is gum, this candy, man, this ain't nothing. And I took it, and before you know it, I was out of control. Like you said, why do they do it? I thought I could control it. Let me tell you something about THC. No matter how much you try to stop, you can't shut up or stop your actions of doing stuff. You can't, but you remember everything. So y'all want to see something? Nothing was fake in that video. Go back and watch that video. But yeah, back to the book.
But that's what happened to
He
LT.
thought he could control
He thought he can control it because he never in his life took drugs.
Yeah.
But I'm saying to myself, you as a cop, and you're very informative with drugs and everything in life.
You should know better.
You should know better. But the thing is that the doctor and
told him, go get help.
Yeah, told him.
But his arrogance.
Severe.
I can control it.
He didn't know it was that severe.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yep.
at the same time, it was like his
Even-
life went down the drain. But
Remember, even Biggie put in the song, never get high on your own supply.
Mm-hmm.
Big mistake.
But you know what? It's kind of crazy because him as a cop, he wasn't even making time for his family.
Nah.
Remember? Like
Oh.
he said, it was constantly working.
How
and
many
the cop-
times we know, almost every cop I've ever known is like that. They love their job so much, you will barely see them with their family. They'll come home and be with their family little increments. But in a 24-hour day, most of their time is at the job. Even when they off work, they got other officers showing up at their house or telling them other things to do. Their job is everything. Where you like, damn, now when you lose it, now you realize, man, I need to put more time into my family.
But cops ain't the only one. There are jobs out there that
Yeah,
they
true.
have to be so devoted, so dedicated to their jobs that when they look back, they said, "Damn, time has flies so quickly that I didn't even have time. I didn't even have time to see my kids grow."
Yeah. Hey, so now it says it's 9 years later. LT, the cop, he been messing up everything, right? Lost his job, all that. He even got locked up. Remember the time he got locked up and the other cop recognized him? He said, "Yo, LT," he said, "Yo, man," and he was trying to help him. And he said, "Yo, man, you gotta get yourself together." And LT was being straight up disrespectful to the guy. And he said, "Yo, man, it's me, man." And he was trying to talk to him. And then he said, "Man, F you, man, this and that, man. Yo, y'all can let me out of here." He said, "Nah, man, we gotta go through this stuff, man. You need help." He said, "Man, F you, man, this and that." And then now the officers realized this dude is bugging. So now he started talking to him disrespectful. He said, man, you need to get yourself together, man, so you get back with your wife." He said, "Man, don't mention my wife's name. Don't you dare mention my wife's name." And I like what the cop said. He said, "Who? You mean Denise? Oh, you mean Denise? Yeah, that's why she left your butt and moved on with another man, this and that." He said, "You son of a bitch." And they locked his ass up in the hole where he had to go cold turkey. But yeah, so now, that 9 years later, now, Nate and O'Neal, they grown men, and they are the men now. O'Neal is a known killer. Money, which is Nate, but he go by the name Money. What I love about Money is that he hides in the shadow. He's never on the scene. Nobody even know what he looks like. But O'Neal, on the other hand, he is a big mouth, always running his mouth.
And
He got always
expenses
spending, got the
and all
flashy cars, the jewelry, always at the club showing off. And on this particular day, he tells Money, "Yo, man, we going to a party, man. It's gonna be my birthday. I need you to show up." And Money tells him, "Nah, man, I don't do that thing, man." He said, "Nah, man, you come to this one, man. You gotta come to this one, man." He beg him, push him, to the point Money's go, "All right, man, I'm gonna show up for a little bit, man, 'cause it's your birthday." He gets there, and when he gets there, he see that O'Neal is at a table with some other fellas, and some random girls come by. Girl Star in particular. And O'Neal's there running his mouth about how much money they make on the block and in the neighborhood, and they're set up and all that. And when Money comes over, Money goes, yo, man, didn't I tell you don't be running your mouth about, you don't even know these girls over here. You'll be running your mouth. He said, "Man, I ain't worried about it." And then what did he say?
Because O'Neal,
something you said, you wrote it down.
No.
A skirt
no.
or something that you said.
Yeah, but actually what exactly Money Green meant is that when they're chasing the skirts, and then one day it's going to be the death of him.
Yeah, and what he meant by that is like, O'Neal, you always out here with a big mouth, talking, showboating, and always chasing these women. You don't even know them. And so that question, she said, chasing these skirts gonna be the death of you. And that girl Star was just that. It's like he was telling all the business about their operation because she was so pretty. And Money told him, he said, "Yo, man, stop talking about what we do here, man. You won't be running your mouth. You don't know them, man." He said, "Man, don't worry about it, man. Ain't nobody gonna touch me." This and that. He's like, and that's why, like, that's gonna be the death of you, man.
Yeah, but you know what? Another point that I made by when we were talking about O'Neal, you got people like that.
Yeah.
You have people out there that is just like O'Neal. They always want to be flaunting,
Yeah.
showing off, always
Showboating.
letting people know what you got.
Yep.
And
yep.
you don't realize that you actually putting a target on
Yes.
yourself.
Mhm.
So my thing is that it's like, that's what money, but then you know what? In the end, down the line, he really thought about it. He said, man, that's why I like the way money was doing things.
Nobody knew money.
Because nobody knew money.
Nobody
They're
knew
smart.
money. But what did O'Neal do? Next thing you know, he bring the girl Star back to his house, where nobody knows where
Well, he
O'Neal lives.
so-called fell in love with
He fell in love with
Star.
her, head over heels, too quick. And he was all like, oh, you the only one I could trust, this and that. Next thing you know, his boy BC was trying to find out these New Yorker cats that moved in the neighborhood, all their operations setting up. So one day he was following one of their females who was running operation with him, and she walked down that street, got on the subway, went to this neighborhood, went to another neighborhood, went to the back of the neighborhood, and all along he following her, thinking that he's the predator, not real, thinking he's the hunter, but really he's the predator. The hunter became the hunted.
Yeah.
That girl was setting him up the whole time, and before he know it, when he went in the back of the project, he was like, wait a minute, this neighborhood look real familiar, but I ain't been over here in a while.
Oh, BC.
Yeah, and before you know it, when he walked through another part of the project, walked through this door, boom, bust him in the back of his head. Now they had him tied up, and they was beating the mess out, and they was asking him, yo, where this at, where that, who this, and he was like, man, I ain't telling y'all shit. Y'all could beat the hell out of me, I ain't telling you. And sure enough,
To me, he was a great soldier.
yeah, because they was knocking his teeth out, busting him up. He's like, y'all might as well kill me, I ain't telling you nothing.
That was a true man right there, no matter what. Because in reality, he's gonna say, y'all gonna kill me anyway, so why would I spill beans?
I know, because I hate when we see movies like that. They beat the guy, and then he spill the beans, and they still kill him.
You know
But
that's
BC was like, nah, I ain't telling you nothing.
You know who's good at doing that?
Do that.
When certain people get caught and they go to the prison, the prison, and then the cops just start
Interrogating them, and they start singing like a bird.
Yeah, they start
And they still
threatening
get
them,
time.
and they start talking. Like,
Yeah. So then they shot BC, killed him up. Now word got back to O'Neal, because O'Neal and BC was beefing a little bit, because BC told him the same thing Money said, because BC had just left his house. And he said, yo, what this girl doing over your house? Only one knew where O'Neal lived was BC and Money. That's it. He said, yo, man, what the fuck you got this girl over here for, man?
That was Cheese that told
No, BC told him first. Because remember, when BC was over at the house, and then that's when BC said, man, I'm on a mission right now. I'm following this chick.
Right.
He said, but what I need you to do, and O'Neal was like, nah, man, I forget that, man. Yo, stop what you doing. He said, nah, man, I'm telling you, I'm on to something. And they was beefing. Before he left, he said, yo, you got this chick up in this house, and she know where you live? Is you crazy? And he said, when I was in the bathroom, when I came out, I heard you talking operation to her. You don't even know her, man. You stupid. And they got in a big argument. And now BC gets killed. And then later, their other boy, Cheese get killed. But the way Cheese got killed, they just came from BC funeral. They go back to, he tells Cheese, drop me off at my house. Now, Cheese didn't even know where O'Neal lived. And when he dropping him off, all of a sudden, dudes come out of the bushes, bang, 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 bang. And just at the last minute, O'Neal was like, yo, man, hit the gas. And as he hit the gas, the car crashed to another car. Cheese got hit.
Oh,
now,
yeah, that's right.
How did they know that he was going to be there? See, O'Neal was so stupid, he couldn't put two and two together. That chick's Star. Nobody even know where you live, dummy. You telling her all your business, and all your stuff seemed to keep crumbling. Then she started telling him how, oh, yo, your man Money probably the one that set you up. Your man Money wants to take this from you and take that from you. And he believed it. And what he did, she eventually got in his head so much that he went out and shot at his man Money and wound up killing him. Then go back home only to be crying like, man, I regret doing that, man. He was somebody I knew for my life. And then he says to Star, but you're the only one I could trust. And she's like, well, look, take off all your clothes. You got blood on you. Why don't you go in there and take a shower? And I'll get everything ready for you, baby. He's like, yeah, you're the only one I could trust. What an idiot.
Oh.
And while he was in there getting ready to take a shower, he heard voices in the living room. And then all of a sudden, he heard a man's voice. So he pulls his gun out. He runs in the living room. But as soon as he run in there, pow! Joker shot him in the shoulder. And shot him in the shoulder. Then he dropped his gun. And then the dude, from the old neighbor. This is what I was saying to you.
Yeah.
You know what? When they killed Nikki in the beginning, I said, it's probably a family member of hers. Like Tupac said, coming back after all these years. Rat, tat, 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 tat. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
I was like, someone from the old coming back, and they gonna get him. But I wasn't totally correct. It was someone from the old neighborhood. It was a guy, who ran that neighborhood. So when they killed Nikki and BC, O was the one that ran it. They did that in his neighborhood. But the reason that girl Star was so pissed because when Chico got killed, Chico was the father of her child. And she blamed O'Neal and Money when that wasn't on them.
Yeah, but remember, they were in the same crew.
They was in the same crew.
They were young heads who started off and they were all together. So she was out to get revenge from all of them.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, he's sitting there defenseless. He said, yo, just kill me. She stood over him. And O and Star stood right over him. And Star really put the knife in him. She said, you about one of the dumbest dudes I ever came across. All I had to do was give your dumb ass some pussy. And you spilled the beans on your whole crew. I even made you turn against your right-hand man and kill him. You such a dumb ass. You're a weak ass man. What's the word? You're a weak, what they say? You're a weak aspect of what they call a man. And he was, and he had that dumbfounded look on her face. And at that moment, then she just lit him up. Bah, 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 bah. I was like, damn. He didn't get revenge. Money didn't get revenge.
But that's the thing is, every day in life, we get so blinded by people's actions.
Yeah.
Like for example, you got a lot of people. They put their best foot forward, and then they realize, like, damn. Why didn't I see it coming?
Yeah.
You be around certain people for so long and you still don't see it.
They dropping breadcrumbs all around, you don't see it.
Exactly. So how much of a blind person can see? That's how it was O'Neal.
O'Neal was so
He
stupid.
got whipped. That's what it was.
Now,
what about this woman?
Yeah, and now, don't get me wrong. It was a pretty decent book. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I hated the way it ended. The way it ended made me be like, come on, man, you ain't getting no revenge. But at the same time, I guess the writer said, I'm gonna do a little different, opposed to everybody don't. In reality, the real world, everybody don't always get revenge. And in this book, that's how it was. Nobody got their revenge back. So I was like, man, it was a good book all the way until the end. When it got to the end, the best way I could put it, I was like, man, it was a good book, but this won't make me go out and buy another one of his books. It's gonna end like that. What you think?
Well, it was pretty interesting while we were reading chapter and chapter, and we couldn't just sit the book down. We was looking forward for the next chapter to see what happened. That's how good the book was.
But the way it ended, would you agree with me when I say it was corny? I would never buy another one of his books. Or what'd you feel? I remember you mentioned something about Donald Goins or something like that.
Oh, well, it's just like Donald Goins book for the people out there, all the people that actually.
That's what you said.
It's every chapter that it's such like a discouragement, like it's such a negative ending, and
so that's what she said. I remember. So now that's a good example because even though I didn't like the ending, she made a perfect example when she compared it to just like Donald Goins books. All his books are excellent. We did all of them. Just go in the education category and you can pick any one. And we put personal spins on them. But every last one of Donald Goins' books, the black man never survived. He always get killed or locked up forever. But one thing, he never wins in the end. And I'm like, yo, what's up with Donald Goins? He sold his soul. But that was a good example. This was a good book. It's just not a pleasant ending that I would have liked. But it can't always be what you like.
Well, another example, like when there are movies that we have watched, and it was like, oh wow, this movie is good, but in the end, it ended up so whack. Like, oh my god, I don't believe this.
Leave you hanging.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah. So hey, once again, like you said, it's called Born Dying. Pretty decent book. In closing, what I would say: never fall in love too quick. Know who's your real friends. Even when you're going through tough things. Like O'Neal was being brainwashed. You know, Star was using duplicity. Damn, I apologize I took so long to give you a word of the day. Let's go with duplicity. Duplicity means deceitfulness, backstabbing, double dipping. You know, and that's what she was doing. Betrayal. She was acting betrayal. As another form of betrayal, duplicity. She was acting like she was so in love with him, but all along she was setting him up all along. She didn't mind to give her body just to kill him in the end. Duplicity. So what I would say, know your friends. See, after all this happened, then O'Neal realized, damn, Money was down with me since forever, and I turned on him that easy. Yeah. But with a stranger in the actuality.
Yeah. And you also have sixth sense.
Yeah,
Just
follow.
listen, follow that sixth sense. That's what we have it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we be very hard on ourselves, like, oh, we'll be all right, this and that. But always listen to that
Your gut
feeling,
feeling,
that
sixth sense.
feeling. You have somebody that really cares about you and all that, and they're giving you an advice and all that. Don't be so quick to ignore it. Maybe it'll help you to say, make a better decision. Sit back and think about what that person is talking about. Don't be so quick to just say, oh, I'm just gonna just let it go by and just proceed in life, because sometimes it can affect you and it can haunt you.
Yes.
Just listen to people that care for you, and listen to your sixth sense.
Yes. Good point.
Yeah.
And on that note, peace.